Welcome back, everyone, and War Eagle. My name is Eddie Orantes, and I'm the Director of Business Operations for the Office of Alumni Affairs at Auburn University. For the next 30 minutes, your host of 18 minutes and 56 seconds, the Auburn Alumni Association Speaker Series. We're engaging our alumni and friends more than ever before, and we want to thank you. You can find our shows by going to aub.ie/1856 series. We also love to hear from you, so ask questions and interact by leaving comments on our Facebook page. We will do our best to answer them in the half hour that we have together. This is the second episode of our two-part series featuring the newest alumni councils at the Alumni Association. Today, we're joined by Eric Dunlap, class of 06, Auburn Alumni Association's Young Alumni Council current chair, and incoming chair, Trey Fields, class of 17, as they talk about the council's founding, mission, and the future. The council is composed of 30 graduates under the age of 40, I just missed it, who represent 6 Auburn colleges and schools and are from 10 different states. To learn about the Young Alumni Council, its members, and future events, please visit our Young Alumni webpage link in the chat, and you'll see it there at alumni.auburn.edu/young. Eric Dunlap, welcome to the show, my friend. It's good to see you.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you, Eddie. Not welcome. Welcome to everyone. It's good to see everyone and to be chatting with everyone today about young alumni. You mentioned under 40, and I'm slowly approaching that threshold. So I'm excited to be here today, and then also have Trey with me, who is a bit more representative of the younger alumni demographic. But yeah, you're right. I serve as chair of the council, and I just kind of in thinking about today, I just had an opportunity to reflect back about my own Auburn experience and how I was introduced to Auburn. And I am I guess, second generation Auburn graduate. I attended football games, basketball games growing up, and just that exposure, I fell in love with the campus, the community. And I just remember just so many awesome times. And so I think kind of thinking about those people who are formative in my life, a lot of them were Auburn graduates and people I looked up to professionally and personally. And the tenets of really the Auburn creed of like hard work and like practicality, and as well as just like helping others, just like really stuck with me. And so I attended Auburn from 2002 to 2006, and I loved my time there. I was involved with the Auburn marching band, and I was also a Camp War Eagle counselor. And I was involved with the Auburn Wesley Foundation, and one of my first jobs, and probably my favorite job to this date, was working at the FOIA information desk, answering the phones when people would call. And that was always, if I could pay rent working at the FOIA information desk, I'd probably still be doing that today. And yeah, so after Auburn, I graduated in civil engineering, and I moved out here to the West Coast in Los Angeles. I work on a traffic safety initiative for the County of Los Angeles, trying to get people to be safe, to drive slow, to make the right choices. And we engineer our streets so that people can make the right choices to hopefully save lives. So that's somewhat my history. After graduation, I've been involved with the association through the Auburn Clubs program. And it's just been an incredible experience to connect with my Auburn family away from home, as well as provide, I think, great leadership opportunities. So I'll shut up and we'll talk a little more, but yeah, it's great to be here.
Thank you for sharing. Listen, you've lived a fulfilling life. You're always engaged. The length of time that I've known you, there's a lot of relevance in your life. So here's a question for you. Why this Young Alumni Council? How did you take part in this? And how did you come about becoming, the chair?
Yeah, so I have been plugged in with the Alumni Association for a while now, and I think kind of getting exposed a little bit to the needs. One of the crazy things I did was when Auburn made its Final Four run, I drained my emergency fund to go to all the the Final Four site, or all the March Madness sites, and that was just such a special time just to meet alumni across the US. You had a lot of people flying in from all over. That was such a special run, and it was I think really that trip, just meeting the Auburn family, I just saw the potential for what more the Alumni Association could do to
Mm,
engage young alumni, to let them know that I mean, we know they belong, but to really communicate that in a way that's meaningful and impactful. So I would say really that trip and getting to host those happy hours and getting to meet alumni from around the world was really inspired me to kind of take on a leadership role with the Young Alumni Council.
wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Trey, tell us about your personal story and welcome to the show.
Sure. Thanks, Eddie. And thanks for having Eric and I today. We are very happy to be here, lucky. And we're sorry that you missed the deadline by just a little bit. We would have loved you.
Just a little bit.
Could have added a lot to the council, but thanks for having us. But yeah, my name is Trey Fields. I'm a 2017 graduate in political science. I'm the vice chair of the council this year, and I'll be the incoming chair. And I think just about a month or less than a month from now when Eric passes the reins on to me, if you will. So I'm very excited for that. We've had a really incredible first year here, and it's been an honor to serve and work with a really incredible group. My story is, unlike Eric, I'm actually a first generation Auburn student, not a first generation college student, but no one in my family ever went to Auburn. So I was the first one, even though I was born in Alabama and lived kind of in the shadow of both the Crimson Tide and the Tigers. I chose to go to Auburn and experience that, and it was really great. And like Eric, had an opportunity to really get plugged in on campus and serve in a lot of different roles. Like him, I was a Camp Regal counselor, which is always a fun one. You get to see all those incoming freshmen in and kind of guide them through that process, and was really involved with student government and a couple other organizations on campus, which really mostly just instilled a kind of value or instilled the values of Auburn and service to the university in me that really sticks with me to this day. So when I saw the opportunity to get involved with the Young Alumni Council, I was excited about it. I was excited to see that the Alumni Association was investing in kind of explicit, structured outreach to young alumni because of how critical that constituency is, especially as we continue to see the university grow and have bigger classes and the context that we live in. I mean, the digital world we live in, it's all changing. And so finding new ways to engage that. So yeah, I'm really excited. I got to experience some fun times at Auburn. My story, like Eric, you go through ups and downs in sports and all kinds of things. I got to see, I was there for the Kick Six. That was my first Iron Bowl ever. So that was fun. So it's great to hear and, all the different stories that people have about their time at Auburn. And we get a lot of that on the council, hearing from people who were in school, maybe in the early 2000s up until just a couple of years ago, like myself. And so it's fun to hear people exchange about their favorite study spots or lunch places on or off campus and how things have changed over time. So yeah, excited to be here. Thanks for having us.
Oh, yes. Thank you for being here. Listen, it's an exciting time for the Young Alumni Council. In a few minutes, we're going to go in and talk about the genesis and the purpose, and both you, Eric, and Trey will give us some hows and whys and what the council is all about. Before we do that, I do want to share that there's already some shout outs to both of you. You have Jen Geeker that says, woo, Eric, and woo, Trey. You got a lot of woos going right now. Angela Smith says, War Eagle Eric. And Anna Womack Sanford says, yay, Eric. So I'm glad that there's this engagement that takes place between what happens on Facebook Live and what we're doing here. Really, what we're trying to do is just create connectivity and awareness. Having said that, let's talk about the Young Alumni Council. Eric, can you take a minute to explain to us what the council is and its purpose, please?
Sure. So the Young Alumni Association, the Young Alumni Council, sorry about that. It's really there to support the Alumni Association on matters pertaining to young alumni. Pretty self-explanatory. And I think really our purpose is to sort of fourfold, to provide a voice into the Alumni Association programming of young alumni perspectives, to in some sense, Trey mentioned that, young alumni, our experience changes. Like I graduated in 2006, and 2006, it feels like a different world than when Trey graduated in 2017. Like I'm learning words like, I guess, chuggy from like Gen Z. I'm still trying to figure out like what that means, but I think there are certainly things in my life that are probably chuggy, and, I get called a boomer. And so, things, young alumni change. And it was the Alumni Association, they did some research, and what we were hearing is that was like young alumni were doing really incredible things. And maybe definitely we wanted to highlight those more. So we think another purpose is just to really celebrate young alumni and to share their stories. When one of us wins, we all win. And so it really is a chance to have the greater Auburn family really celebrate with young alumni. So I would say our purpose is to, shape that programming, shape existing programming, is to offer programming that supports young alumni right now in their unique situation, as well as just celebrate them. And I'll mention you had Jacoby on 2 weeks ago, and
Yeah.
we are one of two newly formed councils at the association, along with the Black Alumni Council.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Let's deep dive a little bit into the why, Trey. So why are y'all doing this work?
Yeah, I mean, Eric touched on it a little bit, but kind of to put it really simple right up front, is we have more young alumni than we've ever had in our life at Auburn. So we have about 100,000 currently active young alumni who've graduated in the last 20 or so years. And so it's this constituency, this demographic that's really like ripe for the picking, to use an analogy, and people who are motivated to really get involved in the university. And I think that's what we see is, we see a lot of people graduating 5-10 years ago who had just incredibly formative experiences while they were on campus that left them with such a just the right taste in their mouth and like excitement about the university and the family that they had at Auburn. And they feel motivated when they step outside the confines of campus to continue that connection and continue supporting that institution that meant so much to them and help them get to where they are today. And so we want to take advantage of that, and we want to make sure that we're able to leverage that excitement, leverage the resources, the skills that young alumni have, that can benefit not only Alumni Association University kind of in like a general sense, but current students or other young alumni who may look to their peers, their colleagues, their former classmates to help them in the professional world or help them personally or whatever it might be. And so I think about, entering the workforce a couple of years ago and thinking about trying to tap into these networks. And sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. And oftentimes it's more about people lived experiences, being able to tap into those. We have great alumni who are doing great things. I'm probably going to get a lot more benefit from meeting someone like Eric or you, Eddie, than I am Tim Cook, even though we love Tim. Shout out to Tim, because those are the folks who can really step in for you and help you in a specific career field, or just help you interview prep, or help you guide you on those steps. So we just want to make sure that we're continuing to tap into those and understand that this is a group that seeks to engage with the Alumni Association, seeks to engage with the university, and has a really unique set of skills that might differ from generations before them or the generations before that, and be able to really give back to the university in a special way. So it may not always be money, which I know is always important, but it's time and it's energy and it's skills and it's passion. So just making sure that's tapped into, and we're able to really work it into all of the programming that the Alumni Association is doing.
Thank you for sharing that, Trey. I know that we heard you in and out a little bit with your mic there, but let's talk to Eric really quick. And Eric, I'm interested in the council members. Can you tell us about the council members, who it's made up of, and the total number that currently make up the Young Alumni Council?
Sure thing. So right now we have 30 members of our Young Alumni Council, and they are from 6 different schools and colleges spread across 10 different states. And I'll just say, it's been an honor to get to lead this group, and I'm just so impressed by them, and I've learned so much from them. This is a small subset of the over 100,000 young alumni, and these members are super involved with their colleges and schools, other university groups, association programs, and we really think that this group represents the larger alumni demographic. And some of them, they're really doing exciting things in their communities and their careers. We have a range of industries. I work in government, some people work in tech, or some people work in finance, education. If there's an industry out there, chances are we have a council member kind of working in that and shaping that. And so, I think that this group can really is reflective of that full young alumni base. And we have different experiences. Our Auburn experience was different. Some of our experiences at Auburn were better than others, and different for a variety of reasons. I never lost to Alabama when I was at Auburn. And Trey has a bit more of a diverse experience during his during his time there. So we've been present with the Auburn Alumni Association Women's Summit, Club Leadership Conference, as well as we hosted in partnership with the Career Services an Uncensored Conversation panel. So yeah, if you want to learn more about the council, check out our website. We have the bios of all the councils. You can read like the incredible things that they're doing. Also on our website, there's a place if you are a young alumni to, hey, let us know how we can help you. Share your story with us. Like I mentioned, we want to celebrate you. We want to let the greater Auburn family know what you're doing. So share your story with our full council so we can begin to push some of that out. And yeah, so that's a little bit about the group. I'd say it's, of course, it's an incredible group, and check out the website, learn more about them, reach out to them if they're in your community, and see how you can connect best with the Auburn family.
Thank you for sharing that. And I'm glad that you pointed viewership to the website. The website does carry a lot of information. There are live links in there that allow for further inquiry. And you're right about the representation in the council. These are individuals that are all in. They've all been very engaged and in one form or another have served Auburn in various capacities and excelling in their own right, in their own personal, professional careers. And so it's exciting to have that synergy and to be able to network something that will transform from an internal group to more of an external group. It's interesting that at this moment in time, we also have viewers that have said, like Dave Gamble, another interesting and informative 1856 session. Engaging young alumni is very important. Great work by the Young Alumni Council, War Eagle from Alexandria, Virginia. So there are those individuals that see it, that understand it, and recognize how important it is, and that are rooting for the council to be successful.
Yeah, and absolutely. I want to say it again, like our website, let us know how we can help you. Like we're there to serve you like young alumni. So if you go in there, share your story with us, let us know what you want to see from us, and we'll try to make it happen to the best way possible.
Thank you. Trey, you graduated in 2017. Thinking back about that experience in the tradition to professional life, what advice do you have for new graduates?
Thanks, Eddie. And sorry if I'm having any connectivity issues. So feel free to pivot to Eric if you need to. But yeah, it wasn't too many years ago, and I got some advice from a mentor of mine who said, one of the key things you can do when you're in these kind of formative years of your professional life is like not be too picky sometimes with the opportunities that come your way. Like be open to exciting and new opportunities, maybe the ones that don't mesh perfectly well with what you're looking for. And so I think that's something that I've taken with me, and it's led me down some paths that have really exposed me to some new things that have kind of shaped where I've gone in my professional life, which has been really helpful. I'm up here in Washington, D.C., so kind of away from Auburn, like Eric too. And it's tough sometimes when you get outside of where you went to school or where you're from. And so being open to those and meeting new people has been one that's really stuck with me. And so I think, just in the context of the council, we want to make sure that, we're presenting opportunities for people, for young alumni, people who are working with our council or adjacent to our council, to have those opportunities, be open to new things, and kind of create the spaces for people to explore new opportunities, connecting with their alumni and former classmates or peers. And so, it's a changing world, and we're trying to just make sure that we maximize as much as we can what interests young alumni, what is engaging to them, and how we can be, the most supportive of their needs and connect them with the members in the association. So
being open to opportunity, that's great. And Eric, I know you've done a lot with community.
Yeah, and I would jump in and say, I think, Trey, that's a great point. And kind of as you're talking, I'm reflecting back over my experience about being open to opportunity, and you're not always aware, like things sometimes work out a little different than what you put down on paper. And so we think Auburn grads are certainly well equipped to adapt and evolve with that. I'll say for young alumni how important it is just to really connect to a community wherever you go. A lot of people, you leave Auburn, you're leaving, you might be moving out on your own for the first time, and the number one question that people ask me when they come to LA, it's like, oh, how do I make friends? And that sounds like something simple, you know what I mean? But it's also something that's like very difficult and very like complex. And so I would just encourage people to find a community and really get plugged in. I think the Alumni Association offers some incredible resources with the Auburn Clubs program. In a lot of your major cities, you'll find an Auburn Club. If you don't find one, we can certainly help work to, you can make one, or we can work and help you get started launching one. And for me, that's just provided such an incredible opportunity. Just it's fun. You know what I mean? It's fun to get to see my Auburn family, especially during football season on Saturday. It just provides like a familiar touch point. And then also, and there's just incredible professional development and leadership opportunities that come with being a part of an Auburn Club. For young alumni, or at least I felt like I was starting a career and I was used to leadership positions in college, or I was used to getting to like shape that more strategic vision of an organization, or I get to be a little bit more hands-on, or kind of have my baby that I get to kind of grow or move forward. And sometimes starting your first job, it might not be that way. Like you might be a staff level, and your job is to carry out the work, and your job's not really to ask a ton of questions about, hey, I think we should do this differently. I mean, definitely bring that up, but sometimes you have to pick your battle with that. And I think really being involved in my Auburn Club just help providing me like good practical and soft skills for leadership that is carried over to my life professionally.
I'm glad you brought up the soft skills and the practical side of that learning curve, right? There's a website that was recently created, and that's that new grad website. Can you tell us a little bit about how you curated some resources in that site?
Yeah. So we want to make it easy for new graduates to transition into their working life, their professional life, and their life post graduation. And I think you're the Auburn family. You don't leave the Auburn family. It's something that you're kind of always a part of. And just because Trey's in Washington D.C. or I'm on the West Coast or wherever you're at, we want to celebrate you in that and support you in that. So we put together a couple graduate web resources for graduates on the New Grads website. You can find resources like, just information how to get discounted football tickets. For new graduates, if you want to come back to the Plains this fall, we're excited about that football season might look a little bit more normal. Our game day might look a little bit more normal this year. Also some information on, finding your Auburn Club, as well as like resources for your career. So if you're a new graduate, if you're an old graduate, check it out and see what's out there.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. How can young alumni get involved on campus and with the association? So outside of the Auburn clubs and naturally sharing the stories, there's a lot that happens that contributes back towards scholarships. Maybe you can talk a little bit about, scholarship funds and how that is going and how people can get supported that cause. That's either you or Eric. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, Trey, sure. I'll jump in. So this year we're excited to announce that we launched a scholarship. And this scholarship is specifically developed for rising seniors. So that's students who are juniors who are going into their senior year, because we all know that when you're going into your senior year, you might incur some additional costs. You might be traveling to job interviews, you might have to buy a suit, and so we just want to support those seniors. Maybe they need some extra money for books or just some of those additional costs. So we developed a scholarship for that specific purpose. So maybe if you're not a young alumni and you're sitting out there watching and you're like, oh, how can I get involved? Throw some change our way if you like, and we'll make sure that it's kind of put to good use and kind of really helping young alumni in that transition.
Thank you for sharing that. Trey, when you think about developing capacity for young alumni to engage, we had a brief conversation about that. Can you expand a little more on what this developing capacity means and how significant that is at this moment in time, especially post the 5 years where there's services that Auburn provides but there's more, right? There's true career growth that takes place after that five years. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and that's what I think we really see the council being in a unique position to provide is a little bit of that kind of infrastructure around support to young alumni as they move out of that sort of 5-year window. So the university does a great job. All of the schools and colleges do a great job on campus of providing resources to their former students, now young alumni, for a couple of years. Like the Career Center provides that sort of advisory support and professional development support for, I think, about 5 years after graduation. So it's really great that they do that. But, beyond that, 5 years sometimes is how long it takes you to just kind of get your feet under you, figure out where you want to live, figure out what you want to do, figure out, what your vision for the future is. And so you need to continue to have those touch points. And, to go back to what Eric said, oftentimes it's really rooted in the community. And so I think something that we're doing on the council right now is trying to just figure out like what resources and what kind of unique approaches can Auburn clubs or community-based organizations that are associated with us, with the Alumni Association, what kind of resources do they need and what kind of guidance do they need in order to best engage young alumni, which like in big cities like Los Angeles or Washington, where Eric and I are, it's often a lot of young alumni who go there when they're young because they want to have that experience, and so they're really hungry for that engagement. And so we're thinking about many different types of kind of programming and approaches that we can take, be it young professional discussion series or lecture series, mentorship programs, CV editing, whatever it might be, just the opportunity for young alumni to connect with older alumni, connect with the community, connect with those professional development opportunities, and hopefully people can continue to have that support beyond 5 years, be it 10, be it 15, be it 20, and it can be kind of a mutually reinforceable loop. And the young alumni can help the older alumni, and the older alumni can help the younger alumni. We want to have that constant back and forth. And so, yeah, again, we're just here sort of providing that perspective to the association and can be advocates for those resources and those types of programs and outreach, and hopefully institutionalize that with the association with the university for decades in the future.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. It's important. Aaron Hutchins says War Eagle, Eric. And then we're also getting some shout outs from Red Dot Roy, who says War Damn Eagle. It's wonderful to see all of these comments
Eagle,
coming through. All right, so you're both in transition. Eric, you've served a wonderful chair role, and Trey, you're transitioning into taking that on and continuing to develop that. Eric, when you think back, and we've got another 3 minutes left, or a couple of minutes left. Eric, when you think back to your most memorable times as chair, can you please share what that is? And then Trey, after that, if you can tell us what you're looking forward to in your role going forward.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie. That's such a great question. Thinking about this, it was the first year of the council, and we launched about a year ago in the middle of a pandemic. So Trey and I haven't met in person yet, and our full council hasn't met together. And that's something we're looking forward to later this summer. But I think it was just super cool to get to be a part of like laying the foundation for this, and and hopefully that foundation will set us up to like serve young alumni long into the future. And that's just, for me, it was just really special to get to be a part of. And I will add, last year, we had a lot of conversation like nationally around race. And that was an important conversation. And it's something that one of the most special times was like our council, I felt like, really didn't shy away from that topic, it's something that we wanted to discuss like seriously and candidly. And I know personally, like I was just so shaped from that discussion, and so shaped from just hearing, we have a group of people with all different experiences and all different Auburn experiences. And so for me, just like getting the opportunity to learn from my fellow council members was just so special, and I think something that I'll carry with me like after this.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing, Eric. I appreciate that. Trey, what are you looking forward to?
Well, I do shout out to Eric. through this year of uncertainty. So he's going to be missed, even though he'll be sticking around with us for a year, kind of in an advisory capacity. So thanks to Eric for his leadership during this tough time. But yeah, really looking forward to, like I was just talking about, getting some of these programs and some of these initiatives off the ground that can actually get in front of young alumni and be able to engage them. We're really excited about that. Be on the lookout for stuff like that in the future from us, and check out the website and let us know what you want. If you're a young alumni and you're in a big city, you're in a small city, you're in Auburn, you're overseas, it doesn't matter. Let us know what you're looking for. Let us know how we can be of support to you. And we really look forward to actually engaging with you soon. So that's what we're most excited about. It's going to be a really busy next year.
Wonderful. The Auburn Alumni Association is proud of the work that you two are doing and are going to do. We benefit greatly from your influence and your impact. So thank you for joining us today. Join us Thursday, May 27th at 11:30 a.m., where we introduce the new Venture Accelerator. Gentlemen, until then, thank you, viewership. Stay safe, and War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Ready, War Eagle.